All right. Waiting for Instagram. I don't know why it takes so long. All right, guys, welcome to our Friday Live Impact. Let's go. I forgot to turn on the lights in the back. We'll turn one on. Why not? Hey, how about that? All right, guys, so welcome to the Friday Live. Every single Friday, I'm going to go live. I don't care if I have 0 viewers or 1,000 viewers. It does not matter. We're going to go live every single Friday because, that's what it is. It takes consistency. But we're not going to talk about consistency today. Today, I want to talk about clarity. But before I get into it, let me introduce myself. My name is Vince Perri, and I am a licensed public adjuster for the last 16 years. And I am a licensed business broker and exit strategist as well. And I've been an entrepreneur for quite a long time. So if this is your first time, well, yeah. And I have a purpose and a goal and a real mission this year, and that's to make an impact, be as impactful as possible to as many people as possible. So I'm always going to bring it. I'm always going to do whatever I can to bring it 1,000%, no matter what. So that's what we're going to do today. I figure, why not? Okay. It's not going to be long. We'll be probably about 30 minutes or so, but it's hopefully, will be impactful for you guys to learn something and really take something home with you throughout the weekend. So, clarity, crystal clear, clarity. That's a tough one. Crystal clear clarity is a business superpower, man, because, I am guilty of it. As entrepreneurs, we are creatives, we are visionaries, and we are constantly thinking of new ways to do all kinds of things. We're thinking of a million ways to do the same thing, and it becomes too much. If you do not stay focused, if you do not stay crystal clear on your mission, on what you want to do and what you want to accomplish, if you are doing too many different things at once, then you're never going to make it. You're never going to get to that other level. And again, I am only telling you this because, quite frankly, I know from experience, unfortunately, how it can happen. And it does do that. It does suck that way. What's happening here? Is my live video going? It looks stuck on there. So yeah, crystal clear clarity is really, really important. And if you're able to do that, if you're able to focus on just one thing as opposed to many different things at once, then you're gonna be very, very successful. Like I said, one of my biggest hiccups that I've had is I've always been doing more than one thing. When I started public adjusting, I was also a tennis instructor. And then when I was about to get out of tennis so that I can focus on public adjusting, well, guess what? I basically, let's see if the live's still going. I don't think the live is still going. Let's see. All right. Sorry, guys. All right, cool. And quite frankly, when I decided that I wasn't going to do tennis anymore and be focused on public adjusting, well, guess what happened? I was asked to be tennis director of a tennis facility. When I was no longer tennis director and I once again decided to be a public adjuster full time, I started a tennis academy. So it took me a long, long, long time to finally get crystal clear focus on just public adjusting, where all I was doing was claims. And then I started the YouTube channel to ultimately generate claims. But then I went into the same hole of, again, having more than one thing where I was not only working claims, but I was coaching public adjusters. Now, the difference being is that at least I was in the same industry, so that helped a lot. And quite frankly, we were able to scale elite resolutions quite large because of the influence and because of the impact and the recognition from Commercial Claims Advocate and everything I did with that. So, if you're doing more than one thing and you've got a different idea for a new business or whatever it is, make sure that you've already accomplished what you've wanted to accomplish in that one thing before you move on to something else. The other thing is that a lot of times, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're spinning your wheels or anything like that, it's probably not a strategy problem. It's probably a clarity problem. Okay. It's just because you're also within your business, you may not be crystal clear on what it is that you want to do. So for example, if you're in your business and you want to grow it, you want to scale it, but you also want to write a book or you also want to do some courses and stuff like that, well, you might want to try to put something off to the side until you actually are successful in one before the other. Because again, take it from me, You're doing too many things if you're not focused. Now, if you've got an offer, if you've got a product, if you've got something that you want to sell, and that one product leads to another product, which leads to your ultimate service, then that's okay. I would tell you go all in on that product, develop all of the marketing and the sales strategies that you need to do it so that it can ultimately lead to your service. One thing that I'm harping on a lot now, especially for public adjusters, if you have an opportunity to create a product by taking out the most important and most valuable part of your service and turning that part of your service into a product that you could actually sell and receive funds and cash flow into your business, that's great to do, because what's going to happen is people are going to take that product, whatever it is, it's an estimate, claim package, photo report, I don't know, whatever it is that you want to do. And then if you're in another service industry like AC or something like that, where you could provide some kind of selling of an AC. I don't know. I haven't put that much thought into that one. So like, make sure that you go all in on that first, okay? Because what that product does is that's a lead magnet. Not only is its cash flow injected into your business, it's a lead magnet. So focus on that. So if you're in the same thing, what you're doing, and it just leads into what the service is, then that's okay. Because if you've already mastered the service, if you're already good at the service, you could provide different things within it. But if you're going to start a product, focus on that product. And once you get that, then the service just comes with it. So I don't know if that makes sense. I felt like I was just kind of rambling there. But my point is that if you're doing two different businesses, if you're doing two completely different things, don't do that. Don't do that, because it's just, take it from me, it's impossible. It's literally impossible for you to be successful in more than one thing at the same time. You have to make sure that you master one. Like, it's just, every business coach that I have, they all say the same thing. I mean, and I literally just saw an Alex Hormozi video on Instagram the other day that he said the same thing. Like, you have to focus on one thing first, even if it's in the same thing. Make sure that you hit, like, even if you have multiple products, focus on that one product first before you get to the second one, because that one product will lead into the second one. So it's hard to do, because you want to just get everything done at once. But I strongly recommend that you actually do it. So, there's three types of clarity that I'd like to focus on. Number one is clarity on your vision of your life. Number two is clarity of your mission in your business. Number three is clarity of focus, which is just the here and the now. Okay. Those are three things that I'd like to focus on, if possible, on this little live that we're doing here. So let's start with the first one. The first one is the clarity of vision for your life. Okay. So basically, you want to know sort of where you're going, right? And what does your ideal life look like in the future, 5 years from now? Very, very important, because it releases a lot of. This one I know very much firsthand. If you do not have a vision and an exact idea of what your ideal life looks like, of how it looks like, whether it's a year, 5 years, 10 years, or maybe you have no time limit from now. I always talk about, I think it's in Japan or Chinese, they set goals like 75 years out or 150 years out, some crazy thing. They have the vision already set for that. If you have a crystal clear vision and you go over it every single day, I will tell you that what happens is you are no longer overwhelmed with tasks throughout your day. What it is that you have a much more calming, because if you've already mastered the expectation of the accomplishment of your vision, you're already expecting it, like it's going to happen. Well, then what happens there is that everything that you're doing throughout your day is actually energizing, because it's just another step to the vision of what you're going to accomplish. So I've got dollar amounts, I've got homes, I've got cars, I've got what my son looks like and how he's successful, what my wife's success looks like, what my whole family, I got all of it written down in a story that I read all the time. So I know that every single thing that I'm accomplishing throughout my day to day is basically going towards that. So you have to know where you're going, and you have to know what your ideal life really and truly looks like. The second one is clarity of mission, which was what we were sort of talking about just now. And that's in your business, right? You have to have complete clarity of what is the problem that you actually solve, okay? What is it that you are doing to ultimately really make a difference to your customer, okay? What are the things that you're providing to them that makes a difference? If you're wondering what that is, I strongly recommend that you actually go back to your last 10 customers, your best customers that you've had, and ask them what was the problem that you solved. Again, most people that are watching is public adjusters. If it's claims that you're solving, then that could be a little bit more obvious, but maybe there was something else that you wanted them to, that you helped them solve. Okay, maybe it was something in their life that because you got them through the claim, it was just something different. Just have complete clarity of the problem that you solve. Another one that's very important is an understanding and clarity of who you serve. Who's your ideal client? What is the exact thing that what exactly do they look like? I had a podcast yesterday where we were going over that. And I feel like I talk about this subject all the time with people, but the ideal customer avatar is what I call it. You have to have crystal clarity on what that person looks like, what's their gender, how old are they, do they have any kids, what kind of family, what kind of home do they live in. Crystal clear, I can't say that today. Crystal clear clarity on exactly who it is that you serve, okay? And this goes for any business, okay? I think it's very important that we're trying to impact more than just public adjusters now on my show here. So if you're a landscaping business, what problem do you solve and who is it that you serve? Okay. And the last thing I would say is, what is your unique promise? What's the promise that you can give to a client after being served by you? Okay. So one of the things that you're going to be seeing a lot more of, okay, in the near future is something called evaluation. It's a value clarity report. So basically, in dealing with entrepreneurs and business owners who are sort of at like that place in their business, call it the halfway point, where they're doing well, revenue is good, everything's sort of running the way it's supposed to, and they've always sort of thought about whether or not they'd want to sell their business one day. And I basically provide a value clarity report, which provides clarity. The problem that I solve is, number one, is most people don't know exactly what their business is worth. I did not know what Elite Resolutions was worth until years after I had started it and grown it. And I didn't even know what EBITDA, I didn't know what adjusted EBITDA was. I never even knew what SDE, seller's discretionary earnings, are. God knows I didn't know what the multiple was too, depending on how the business was. So what I solve is that problem, is making sure that they have clarity on exactly what their business is worth today, and even better, what their business can be worth, right, in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years, or in the next whatever, right? Because there's always a number that's going to put a smile on your face when you're just like, wait a minute, I can get out of that for like, $10 million. All right, that's good. I get out like that. Who do I serve? Is entrepreneurs, business owners, right? $2 million to $20 million. That's in revenue. That's who I serve. And my unique promise is clarity. It's just crystal clear clarity. It's like, whoa, okay, I understand. And I've done a few of these already, and that's the result that I've gotten. In regards to public adjusters and all the coaching that I've done for them, the unique promise was just fast track, right? Like let's fast track your way into actually understanding the claims business, understanding the claims industry. That's what we promise with the mastermind, as well as you're going to have an understanding of business, and you're now going to also have an understanding of actually settling your claims. That's a promise that we give to any mastermind member that potentially comes on. So that's your clarity of mission. Make sure you have a clarity of mission in your business. And the next thing is a clarity of focus for the now, right? So here is where the basis of this live sort of came about. What are you working on right now that actually moves the needle? Okay. What are, like, as a business owner, one thing that always comes to my mind is, am I working on something that is a revenue generating activity? Is it generating revenue? As a business owner, like, the number one thing that you should be doing is sales. One of the things that I do probably almost half of my day, my work day and my work hours, is dedicated towards sales. It's dedicated towards literally outreach, calling, text messaging, and emailing, and calling and text messaging and emailing. Okay. I would recommend the same thing. If you are in your first 3 to even 5 years in business, you should be really focused on making sure that you're just continually to generate leads and generate customers into your business. Very, very important. But think about, what is it that you're working on right now, okay? And if more than one thing comes about, then I would recommend that you make a decision today as to what it is that you're solely going to focus on and really accomplish before you actually move on to the next thing. And what season are you in, right? Are you in a building season, a scaling season, automation season? Are you in an exit season? Okay. Are you in an operation season? Are you in the marketing season? Like, what is it like in general that you're really, really focusing on right now? Really, really think about it and make sure that you get focused on it. Okay. Clarity is not knowing everything. It's knowing what matters right now. Okay? Just knowing what matters right now. That's what's most important when you're trying to really gain clarity. So, how do we do this? How do we actually gain clarity? Okay? You can get into it right now. The number one thing that you have to do, eliminate the noise. Eliminate the noise. Super, super important. Okay. One thing that you hear a lot of entrepreneurs talk about, successful business owners, multimillionaires, whatever it is, saying no. Saying no to a lot of other things that aren't focused on your crystal clear vision that you're trying to ultimately accomplish. You have to say no to more things. Now, you can say yes to things that are actually helping you accomplish the goal that you want to accomplish, but you have to say no as often as possible in order for you to really get crystal clear clarity and focus on what it is that you're focusing on. So, whatever it is that you're into right now, that's what you need to do. So, as public adjusters, as for me personally, there's something that I'm focusing on right now. So new claims that are coming in for me, I'm just making sure that all my guys get it. Okay, for me personally, working on claims at the moment, it's not a priority for me. So it's very difficult for me to say no. But for now, I do think it's good for the guys, and it's also good for the focus that I have right now. So don't be afraid to eliminate the noise, and don't be afraid to say no to things. Okay, I mean, it's just even the good things, even some of the parties, even if at times it means focusing on something, especially with your business. And this is going to sound very, many people are going to be against this, but even if it means not hanging out with your family sometimes, okay? I'm family first all the time. And I'm always, or most likely going to focus and choose family over anything else. But your family will forgive you. Heard a great video from Gary Vee today on Instagram that was like, somebody asked him in regards to, what do you say when you're worried about the work-life balance and making sure that you spend time with, and they're just like, your kids will understand. And I will also say I'm very proud of the fact that my wife and I are workaholics and we grind all day. And my son sees that. Now he goes to daycare, but like for instance, today he's sick, so he took the day off. But he understands that we grind already, even at 3 years old, and we work hard and we do everything we can. He also understands the concept of we work hard to make money so that we could have money for him to go to Disney World and to buy more cars. So we're already sort of teaching him that concept of the advantage, not the advantage, but the importance of working hard. And I'm totally okay where if you're building something great, if you're building something special, and it's going to take away some time from your family, that's okay. I understand we live for today, enjoy every moment. I'm all about that. But at the same time, it's important that you stay on your mission and grind and get done whatever it is that you need to get done. So number one is say no to other things and really eliminate the noise. Number two is you really have to define the destination. Okay, I go back to your vision. Like, man, I can't tell you how many problems that has solved for me. I can't tell you how much stress that has relieved from me by already knowing exactly where I'm going and what it looks like and what it smells like and what it tastes like and what it feels like. I already know. I already know what it looks like. So define your destination, know exactly what the vision is, and know exactly where you are going. Because again, you get away from tasks which get overwhelming and cause scatterbrain, as opposed to now everything you're doing is towards that dream life. Also, in regards to defining your destination, I think planning is really good, right? Like making sure that you've got the perfect day. Like you know exactly what a perfect day looks like. You know what your calendar looks like. You've got the whole thing time blocked. I've done a YouTube video on time blocking. Like my entire calendar is basically filled up every single day. I've actually recently opened up some time slots because when I send Calendlies out, people are like, we got nothing. So I've opened up some stuff and put them, I mean, I still have it blocked, but I have it as unbusy now. So I kind of fixed it a little bit so that it's easier for people to schedule stuff on Calendly. But I'll tell you what, it took me a while to start using Calendly because I don't like other people to control my calendar. I'm still a little like skeptical on it. But in order for me to book podcasts, it's a little bit easier to use. So define the destination, write your vision. Okay, so number one is eliminate the noise. Number two is define your destination and make sure that you write your vision. Okay, I can't tell you how important it is, and write your list of goals. And then also figure out what does the perfect day look like, and really what does your perfect business look like. If you can get a vision on that, So I will be open and honest with you. I've recently quit drinking. Like I'm not drinking anymore. Like not recently. It's been a little while. And I actually wrote a statement down of what my life looks like without drinking. And I read it every single day and every single night, every single morning and every single evening. And it's just a really nice ideal life of power and not having to go to have a drink, because for me the drinking was just an escape. So it's just like I don't need that to escape. I'd rather stay crystal clear for 3 days as opposed to just being foggy. Because what happened to me is, man, I don't know about you guys, but I have 1 day hangover, but like 3 days of just not where I'm at, like not how I feel right now, where I'm crystal clear, sharp, focused, ready to rock and roll. It takes like 3 days just to get there after just one night of drinking. So I have a whole vision also. So I have my vision for my life, but I have a separate vision that I read of what my life is like now, empowered and focused and confident and clear, not foggy, and just ready to rock as a good impression for my child of strong, all that stuff. That's all written there. I read it all the time. So what does the perfect day look like? What does a perfect life look like? And then what does your perfect business look like? If you could write that as well, it's a good one. I should actually write that myself, of exactly what the perfect business look like. That's fantastic. Step 3 is reverse engineer it. Okay. So basically go backwards. Okay. I do this with everybody on the mastermind. I do this with everybody at Elite Resolutions. We reverse engineer your vision. So what's your crazy big hairy audacious goal? What does it look like in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is? We didn't even put a time. Like, what's your crazy ideal life, right? We write down the house, the size of the house, how many bedrooms, the wife, the kids, how many kids, what location are you in? What's the car look like? Are you in front of the beach? Do you have a pool? All this stuff, like just amazing life. And then we reverse engineer it, right? We go 5, 3, 1, and then we just list goals for the year, right? So 5 years, like what is it that you have to have accomplished in the next 3 to 5 years? We don't even get too picky to get to that crazy big hairy audacious goal. What does it need to look like in 3 years? And then now this year, okay, or in the next 12 months, what is it that you need to accomplish? All right, let's just list them. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. I personally like anywhere between 10 and 12, okay? Just start listing what the goals are. What are the things that you need to accomplish? And obviously you want them to be goals like that are measurable, right? That you could actually attain. And then what we do with that, okay, and you can go into the quarter as well, right? For the business, we follow EOS, Entrepreneur Operating System. And for that, we basically, we go and we do quarterly rocks as well. And we did good, I think, with CCA this quarter, right? I think we pretty much accomplished everything. We only had 2 rocks. But we list all of the goals, okay? When you list the goals, what are the daily habits and activities of this particular goal that you have to do on a daily basis to get to this goal? What are the resources that you can go to help you accomplish that goal? Books, courses, people, mentors, whatever it is. And then what is the award or reward that you're going to give yourself if you ultimately do accomplish that goal, or when you accomplish that goal? And you got 12 of those. I also like to put stakes on them too. So like there's one goal, I'm not even going to share what it was. I did not accomplish it. And my stakes, my penalty is to run 13.1 miles. And I'm not looking forward to it. I actually got to find a Saturday to do that. That'll be fun. Anyway, yeah. So, but I'm going to do it for sure. So yeah, that's how we do that. So we reverse engineering, right? So to stay crystal clear, okay, you have to reverse engineer your vision to like the next 12 months at the very least, and maybe even the next quarter. Okay. Number 4 is your daily alignment. All right. So daily alignment for me is definitely making sure that before I go to sleep, I swear to you, it is a ritual. I read my ideal life. I read my life without drinking and being sober. And I read my life, and I read my 12 goals. Those 3 things I read every single night. And then, to be honest, I put headphones on, unless the wife is traveling. I put headphones on and I listen to like a meditative, I think it's like 500 gigahertz or something like that on YouTube or whatever video, and just puts me in a zone. And then I start manifesting every night. And in the morning when I wake up, one of the first things I do, whether in bed or in the toilet when I wake up, too much information, I will read my story again. I'll read the ideal life. I will read the sober life. and I will read as well the 12 goals that I've got every single time. I've also got a roadmap to a specific dollar amount that I'm trying to get to. So I read those 4 things. Is that 4? Every single evening before I go to sleep, and then every morning. All right. So daily alignment. It really gets my day going and aligned. And I usually find some time in the afternoon to read it again. Also, one thing that I added, which by the way, I strongly recommend, most of you guys know what a vision board is. A lot of you guys have a vision board, but where do you have the vision board? I have it in 2 places that I see it all the time. I have it on my wallpaper, on both my monitors, and I don't know if you can see it, but check this out. I have it on my lock screen as well. Those are just pictures. See the car there? Yeah. Speaking on stage. There's a big house there too. So I actually have it on my wallpaper now as well, which is really cool because every time I open my phone, I literally see my vision board. So I strongly recommend that. That's a great quick reminder of where you want to go. And also, I did a great podcast yesterday with, I can't remember his name right now, but that's okay. Financial advisor. He does finance. And he really took the book, The One Thing, and like took it to a whole other level. I read this book a long time ago. I should probably read it again. And it was really cool because he basically says that with his team, they've got one thing that they have to accomplish. Every single person on his team has one major thing they have to accomplish by the end of the year, one major thing that they have to accomplish by the end of the quarter to get them to that one thing by the end of the year. And then they meet every single day for like 15 minutes, and they have one thing that they have to accomplish at the end of the week to get to that quarter and all that. And then every day they meet, like, what's the one thing you're going to do today to get to what you need to accomplish by the end of the week? Freaking mind blowing. It's just one thing. And I just thought that was interesting. And he does it every single day. I'm like, I'm going to totally use that. I think that's fine. I think that's awesome. So ask yourself this in the morning when you wake up. If I only accomplished one thing today that moves me towards my goal, what is it? Ask yourself that. Okay. So that's it, guys. That's the framework, right? On getting real crystal clear clarity. Number 1 is eliminate the noise. All right. Feel free to say no to more things. Number 2 is define the destination. Write your vision. Okay. Know where you're going. Reverse engineer everything. So from the vision, take it all the way down to 5 years, 3 years, 1 year, and maybe even the quarter. And then have the daily alignment. All right. Where you just start your day with reviewing, your goals that you've got. Okay. Because honestly, you're going to get confused. If you do not write these things down, if you do not set these things, confusion leads to chaos. Clarity leads to confidence. Take it from me. Okay. I'm like a reborn person. If you knew me in 2023 and still know me now, you will have known how much I have grown just in the last 2 years. All right. Most people even tell me. Literally was just told that last week. They're like, you're like a different person. I'm like, thank you. Thank you for noticing. Because yeah, I am. All right. So that's what we got today. Crystal clear clarity. I think it's very important. Just remember, time is a funny thing. You don't need more time. What we really need is ultimately more clarity. Because when you know exactly what matters, the path becomes obvious. When you know what the result already looks like, everything you do on a daily basis just becomes stepping stones towards that result. They are no longer tasks and they're no longer overwhelming. And then you now get rid of burnout. That's the live for today, guys. Thank you for coming on. I hope you enjoyed it. And we will see you next week. All right. And all right. And one more thing. Make sure that you subscribe to all this stuff, because like 3 times a week, we're coming out with so much content. Wait till you see what we got coming. Later.